to the bone. Watch out, 'cause I'm in my zone.
Sudden death basketball may well have arrived early in the NZNBL, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. Two teams who are desperate to finish strongly and book their places in the top six. The Wellington Saints have been behind the 8 ball the whole way through this season. The Hawks have been stumbling of late. Welcome into Pettigrew Green Arena here in Napier, home of the Hawks. The visitors tonight, the Saints. Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Casey Frank. These two rosters have a bit of feeling. They've got everything to play for. We're so close to the postseason, and that ladder tells us why this is crucial.
Now, both teams are charging towards the postseason. The Hawks had possibly a season-saving victory against the Bulls last week. The Saints need to win a lot more to get there. A little bit of a feeling for sure. The Hawks were embarrassed a week ago. They will have a little something extra in this one for the Saints, who just cannot afford to not play on the razor's edge.
It really is a feeling around this one, and there has been some concern during the week in the build-up with illness in the Saints camp. We can tell you about that in a moment or two, but all of these games are crucial. The Sharks can play spoilers up against the best team in the comp right now, the Taranaki Airs. That one on Friday night. Saturday afternoon at 5:30, the Rams and the Giants. The Rams desperately need to win. And the Jets, like the Sharks, can they play spoilers? Because the Saints have to back up on Saturday nights at Fly Palmy Arena in Palmerston North. Every game crucial, every game something on it.
There isn't one single game I think the rest of the year will want to have something to say, and here are the starters tonight for the Saints that are going to have something to say in this game. You will notice no Mike Smith Jr. out with, or Mike Smith, he is replaced by Reginald Upshaw Jr. out with illness. Mike Smith, no point guard. That will certainly affect the Saints squad.
Yeah, so two Americans. Cooks, of course, absolute superstar. And then the three Kiwis, Samuel Natai and Vodanovic. Let's have a listen to their head coach, Troy McLean.
And now with coach of the Wellington Saints, Troy McLean, and coming off a massive home game win against the Taylor Hawks, 117-87. Troy, that's got to bring a lot of confidence coming into tonight's matchup.
Yeah, but you know, it's a long season, so we've just been preparing for today's game. Put that one in the back pocket and move forward.
What do you make of some of the upset wins that have been happening this season? Certainly you couldn't predict some of the ways the games have gone before they've happened, could you?
No, I mean, it's been pretty interesting across the board. A lot of teams giving up some games that they shouldn't have, but I mean, and that's the nature of basketball, and it's, I guess, a good thing about the league this year.
It certainly does keep the season exciting. We are into the home stretch now. The best of luck tonight, mate.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Troy McLean, of course, thrust into the head coach role. I wonder if he still fancies being out there as a player. Such a legend in those parts, but with the departure of Guy Malloy. But he's done a great job with them, bringing them together as they desperately try and get into that six. This will be real pressure for him, though, up against this starting five for the Hawks. And I guess the boost to them in recent weeks has been the return of Jack Salt, and he's getting a little fitter with every game.
Yeah, especially with Jordan Hunt still away with the Tall Blacks. He has solidified that interior attack, but it's going to take more than just rebounds and interior points to get it done. This squad does have the talent to put a lot of points on the board. They'll have to put a few up tonight to get this one against the Saints.
And of course, with Mike Smith not there, Alcoa might have his way as point guard out there on the floor. Let's catch up with Hawke's Bay head coach Mick Downer.
I'm here with coach of the Taylor Hawks, Mick Downer. Mick, it's been a mixed bag, but I feel like the boys are starting to get back on the roll again. How confident are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, very confident. We bounced back after a pretty ordinary effort a week ago, so really, I guess, sustained effort in Franklin for 4 quarters, so expecting more of the same tonight.
A few games now for Jack Salt. How are you feeling about his performances so far?
Yeah, look, it's been 3 games, but it's only been a week because the 6 days, so that took a bit of a toll out of him after not playing for a few months, but it has got him into a rhythm, so he's got his game fitness back now, so I just hope step by step he'll just get better and better over these last 3 games of the regular season.
You got the hometown advantage, so best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and that ordinary performance is the one that's been referenced already. 117-87 a week ago. That's the last time out for the Saints. The Hawks managed to get back on the bike in between times with that 10-point win over the Bulls, but prior to that they'd lost 4 in a row. Let's have a look at the head-to-head, and this is referencing that game. And Casey, what's the big talking point out of those numbers?
What do you reckon won that last game looking at these stats? This turnovers, number one. It's all about possession, creating extra possession for the Saints. Plus 13 in turnovers, plus 11 in second chance points, plus 12 in made three-pointers, and stellar off the bench. It was just a terrible display for the Hawks, but they bounced back against the Bulls with a defensive dominant performance. They need to find a way to do that to the Saints, but it's a different kettle of fish with the way they can run the floor.
Yeah, so are the Hawks better than that?
Well, they can be better than that. I think the Saints took it out of them. I think that was the worst performance of the year for the Hawks, but when the shot's not falling and things aren't going right, that is the danger for the Hawks. They can really get stuck offensively, can't create options. So it's up to them with their effort levels to ensure they don't have a repeat of that performance.
Kind of seems like the Saints have taken so long to get together as a roster. They've made some changes. Upshaw Jr. comes in. They now lose their point guard in Smith. Really their only genuine point guards, as we see the refs Tim Brown, Sam Pan and Hayden Pipe. How big is Mike Smith not being there, and how do they adjust?
Well, I just think the Saints just now finally learned how to play with one another. So now you're taking out the guy who was the head of the snake and facilitating and doing such a nice job facilitating lately. When the shot wasn't going, he was getting other guys involved and looking late. So now you lose that three-point threat. You lose the gravity that he has, but you also lose his ability to facilitate for teams. Who's going to step up and sacrifice their own offense again to try and get other guys involved in the game? It's going to be difficult to ask because they don't have that natural point guard position. Perhaps Kenneth Tumpton coming in off the bench can pick up some of that, but it's going to have to be a collective effort, everyone doing a little bit to make up for Smith, who was, of course, the leading scorer in that victory a week ago.
And of course, it's happened reasonably late, so it's not as though the Hawks will necessarily have scouted thinking Smith's not there, but in the last hour, what will they have spoken about? What will they do differently?
Well, it won't really change things for them other than how they're defending things out on the court. It'll be one less shooter you can sag off of there, but when I find a point guard's not in the game, I tell my guards guarding them, hey, up and in. Who's bringing the ball up the court now? Let's make things difficult for them. Let's not get them into offense. Let's try and force those turnovers they forced against us a week ago. So it's going to be Daron Arakawa. It's going to be Ethan Rusbatch on the wing defending those guys. And it's going to be Jared Kenny off the bench that have to put pressure on ball handlers and make it a difficult task to bring the ball up the court.
So magic number, what are teams chasing to get it? What was your turn of phrase with your coverage this week?
9 is fine. 9 is fine, but 10 you get a little zen. So 9 you got a chance. You're in the mix. 10 right now, if you get to 10, that will guarantee your postseason appearance.
And I'll remind you folks, the Hawks are on 8 currently, and the Saints are on 6. So we reckon the Saints might want to go unbeaten for their final 4 games. We're underway here in Napier, and it is the Saints that will control the tip, and this will be interesting. So Cooks brings it up first time.
Yeah, and he is responsible for a lot of the ball handling. Even when Mike Smith is there, they ask him to carry a heavy load, but he is capable of it as Daron Arakawa gets a cheap foul 10 seconds in.
Yeah, it's not one that you want early on the box score, that's for sure. So almost a little reset, a little restart here for the Saints. See if they look to get it to Cooks again. They do.
What a matchup between him and Hiram Harris.
Kicks it out. Upshaw Jr. with the 3 ball. No good, but the rebound is good for Vodanovic. And off the glass and good. Now, he's one of a few players that's had a question mark with illness this week. Was some speculation as to whether he'd start, but he's got a pretty good motor, Vodanovic, hasn't he?
Rub some dirt on the lungs, he'll be fine. No worry with Tommy. Love that. Take advantage of the mismatch on Rusbatch straight to the cup. And now Rusbatch trying to do it the other side on Samuel. That ball will stay with the Hawks. Oh no, off the Hawks. I was sure that was off Xavier Cooks, and I think maybe based on his look that he thought that same feeling.
Up short. Nartai. He gets 2 feet in the paint, can't finish though. Arakawa with the board.
And Arakawa with the harassing defense before starting the break. What a catch by G there.
The pass to Harris, it was just too low for Harris to get that up towards the bucket. Arakawa is blocked by Cooks. He gets it back again. Jack Salt with the left hand and the reach.
Oh, good finish by Jack Salt. So consistently efficient around the cup. That is his comfort zone, 12 feet and in.
Natai, who's had less of a need to score the basketball in the Saints lineup, but capable at any stage. Upshaw Jr. with the 3-ball. That one's good. What a revelation he's been.
Well, especially when you're got thrown at Arakawa trying to guard Tom Vodanovic in the post. The double has to come. If Upshaw can shoot like that, it's going to be a long night for the Hawks.
And foul called here. I'm not sure that it's...
Vodanovic, I think, underneath.
Yeah, I don't think Samuel got Arakawa. Here is another look at Upshaw. He's just come in and he's had to fit in very quickly, but he's done a great job.
Yeah, bringing in a true center, even though he's a shooting center, a guy who can really play that big man spot and take some of these small power forwards out of position and make them a little easier. Oh, look at the save.
And Cooks with the good hands, taking it away from Salt. Natai on Rusbatch, tall black teammates, and Rusbatch with the defensive job.
Oh, Jordan Natai just rushed that a little bit. Excellent defense by Rusbatch, and Hiram Harris getting back into play.
Salt. Samuel kicks it out. Hiram Harris with the 3-ball. High arcing shot, and it's good.
He has worked so hard on his stroke from deep. Cooks goes underneath, pays for it.
And the Hawks don't get back and defend on a made 3. That hurts.
Poor defense in transition. Upshaw aggressive early, 7 points already for him.
Harris feeling it. No.
And the Saints very patient early.
Kick it out. Upshaw looking to find a hot hand early from either side of the court.
They're going to have to find him. He has got 8 already out of the 10. What a start for Reggie Upshaw Jr.
Dispatch puts the shoulder down, drives, and great defense by Samuel. Stayed really strong. And now they've got the numbers advantage. Can't make the layup, though, and Samuel wants the foul.
He needs to get back in transition because this is going to be a playoff-type basketball. No blood, no foul. Keep playing.
And through the contact, RG, both rosters talking to the referees.
Yeah, a lot of complaints, but they need to not worry about the whistles, worry about the play. This is playoff basketball right now, whether or not it's the finals or not on the records. It's a powerful post move by Tom Vodanovic. Early in this one, the Saints are just searching out mismatches, and they are finding them all over the court, whether it's Vodanovic in the post, Upshaw on the perimeter. The Hawks happy to switch, but the Saints are finding that every time as we see that beautiful shot from Hiram Harris, matched by Reginald Upshaw Jr. on the other side.
So it is helter-skelter. Plenty of offense. Casey, just do a check for me. Have they added the 2 from RG? I'm not sure they have, but regardless, it's a close ball game here, as the Saints have kicked out to an early lead. Just exactly by how many, I'm not sure.
I think the only 2 that hasn't been out is that last one by Vodanovic. 12-7 is the stats that I've got on there. It'll pop up and catch up soon. The offense has been happening so quick, it's tough to keep up with.
So just an early and a small sample size so far, but what have you seen? Anything surprising you?
I'd like to see a little bit more aggressiveness from the Hawks. Defensively, they're happy to switch right now, everything, but they're going to have to stop that switching because the Hawks are taking advantage of the mismatch when they get it. And right now that's thrown to Arakawa or Ethan Rusbatch in the post. They're going to have to find a better way to defend this versatile lineup of the Saints. And secondly, transition. The transition defense early we've already seen 3 fast break opportunities, 4 actually, and only 1 has been taken advantage of. The Hawks need to get back and cut down those opportunities out of the game.
Gee, in the corner. Wow, we're getting the big shooting the 3-ball tonight.
That looked just about like a set shot, but he found the range right back at you the other way.
Jack Salt with the board. This is going to be intense. You're going to need your lungs in pretty good shape as RG goes inside against Cooks, and suddenly the Hawks fight back. 5 quick points.
By Tawane G, really finding his range as well as getting it done inside.
Natai. Cooks out to the man with the hot hand and keep going to him. My goodness me, another triple.
They may need to change the scouting report on Reginald Upshaw Jr. He is now 3 for 4 from the deep.
And Harris with the drive, blocking foul called. He was in full flight. Hiram Harris had eyes for the basket and nothing else.
Well, he was searching out contact when he was coming up the court, really searching for Jordan Naitai underneath, and apparently Naitai was not set well enough. Hiram Harris gets rewarded for his aggressiveness, going to the Razine now for a couple of attempts, and free throws were so important for the Hawke's Bay against the Franklin Bulls. They really kept things going there, shot over 20 free throws in that game. They would love a repeat of that tonight to slow down the pace and give themselves an opportunity to set their defense on the other end.
And Harris, as always, is affecting the game right across the box score. He's going at 12.9 points, 9.2 rebounds, 3.9 assists this season.
Well, that's nothing to Reginald Upshaw Jr. right now. 11 points on 4 of 5 from the field. Can we get him the ball again?
Yep, but one more pass offense because Cooks was open and they just needed to go one more pass. Give it back to Upshaw. Jared Kenny on the floor for the Hawks. What a player to have as your sixth man. Raukawa gets to the rack off the glass. Great stuff, Raukawa.
Well, just attacks Dugo Muta on that one. He's got to play better defense. Tried to avoid the foul, does so, but great shot making.
He will always be aggressive, never doubts himself. There's Upshaw Jr. again, and that was a good-looking shot. And he's just got to keep shooting it, and they're saying Saints.
That looked like it was off Xavier Cook's hands. There's no doubt about it. Referee Sampan realizes the mistake and changes his mind.
It's one of the rare moments. No longer can we say a ref will never change their mind, but I don't know that it was the players. He knew straight away, I think, Sampan.
From that timeout, the Hawks have played a much more packed defense, cutting off penetration lanes, doing a better job of finding shooters. The Saints offense has slowed down. The Hawks offense has ticked up.
Kenny. Harris has already made one triple. He goes where he's perhaps more comfortable, and that one rejected by Cooks.
It's phenomenal defensive footwork there. The spin move by Hiram Harris normally finds him a lot of space, but Xavier Cooks sticking to him like white on rice, still smacking the ball out of bounds with his first block of the game. I think they just got the clock back to where it needs to be. Had a few extra seconds run off.
RG up short defending. And it's RG with a pass that was never going to make it to its intended target.
Yeah, no real angle there, but now the mismatch on this side. What do the Saints do?
Hawks almost adjusting, but Cooks goes through and past Raukawa, so there's been a few mismatches for the Saints to capitalize on.
Mismatches everywhere. They keep finding them. Nice job with the interior passing by Upshaw to create the look for the Cooks finish.
Kenny directing traffic. Raukawa also still out on the floor. Jared Kenny with a nice left-hand finish.
And I like him aggressive offensively early. He's normally so satisfied to sit back, let his teammates do it, just facilitates, but they are going to need buckets from him in today's game.
Naitai. There are tall black matchups all over the floor, as well as intriguing imports, clashes. Cooks toughen on the floor for the Saints. A little fadeaway jumper, no good for Upshaw Jr. He is human.
Obviously a great shooter, but when you've got the point guard on you, you got to be aggressive. Get onto the cup. Don't fade away on it.
Kenny's pass for Rusbatch didn't get there because the referees have seen a bit of a bump on Rusbatch and halted his progress.
Is the bump on Rusbatch, or was it on Jordan Naitai on the pass? Not quite sure what the foul was called there. Couldn't see the player called, but either way, possession staying with the Hawks instead of a turnover.
Hawks lead by 1 in what has been a very entertaining first 7 minutes or so.
Quinn Bailey checking into the ball game for Jerome Arakawa.
Salt. Oh, Harris, he was thinking of the shot before he had the basketball. Oh, my goodness me!
That kind of night for the Hawks, looking like fortune will be on their side. Hiram Harris 2 for 2 from deep. I don't know if you really thought that one was going in, though.
Wow, the circus is in town. The trick shots are out early. Cooks, good D against Xavier Cooks. That's saying something if you can stop Cooks.
Well, Jack Salt's got the size. to get in his way and be a physical force, knocking him off his line.
Salt again trying to get to the glass, and he does well. This is a great little spell here for the Hawks. Remember, they trailed by 5 early.
Much like the first quarter, the last time these two met, they were in control, but it's all about keeping it going. Do the Saints have an answer in the first quarter?
Samuel has not really been a factor so far, but we know that he'll have his moments. And Bailey defending Cooks that time.
The offense has just taken a dip since Upshaw's checked out. Everybody's standing around, not enough cuts, not enough movement. They can't just throw it to the wing and expect somebody to make something happen. The ball has to do the work for the team. Bogdanovic lets it fly, hits nothing but tough and quickly on the rebound.
Slapped away by Harris, but another opportunity, and those second and third chance opportunities will hurt.
Mita with a huge triple to cut it back to a one-shot deficit on the tip out.
Salt didn't go to work, looked for Harris cutting to the basket, and there's a foul here on Hiram Harris. Who was it called on, Casey?
Foul on Xavier Cooks there. That's going to be his first personal. A little bit of a loose ball. He'll head to the bench. And with it, kind of the focal point of the offense right now for the Saints. He hasn't gotten a ton of points, just the 2, but everything has run through him. 4 points for Bogdanovic, 11 points for Upshaw. Outside of that, Mita with 3. No one else has scored.
Bartlett, the veteran out there.
Slow modem straight to the hoop. No defense stepping up for the Saints. The Saints, one of the most prolific offenses in the league this year with an offensive rating of 115.8. Only problem is their defensive rating is 116.9.
Yeah, which is a separation in the wrong direction. So that has been their challenge, hasn't it, Casey, all season long? And in recent weeks, they look to have made improvements, and we've talked about it already. If you've just joined us, folks, Mike Smith, point guard for the Saints, out of this one through illness. So the Saints essentially playing without a genuine point guard. Nartai had the mismatch on Salt, so got past him, couldn't finish off the glass.
But the right decision, go to the cup, attack his foot speed. As you see a travel on Everard Bartlett called there. Jordan Nartai not settling for the jump shot despite the space given. I think that's the right decision. You've got to stay aggressive on this Hawks defense. Force them to move, force them to adjust defensively. As we see the 3rd foul in the quarter on the Hawks. And Jared Kenny.
Jared Kenny has a chat with Sam Tan about it. So the Saints with the 14 fouls, Hawks with a couple.
And this is where the loss of Mike Smith hurts. Jordan Nartai has to play the de facto point guard now. He's capable of it, but it just changes up the flow of the offense and the timing as well.
Tuffin, the captain, comes up short. And possible 2 for 1 here. Rusbach, oh, that is a hard foul on Ethan Rusbach.
I think that's a perfectly good foul there. Challenge the basketball up on the rim. Ethan Rusbach going strong. Kenneth Tuffin does not give up on the play. The only one who had a chance. Gets in, smashes the arm. Good foul. Well taken by Ethan Rusbach. Now he heads to this Razine to try and get a couple there and extend this lead to 7. What a dominant quarter for the Hawks. If you would have told them before the game that somebody would have a chance to score 27 in the first quarter, I think they would have been a bit concerned, but it's actually them.
And as we've mentioned, they trailed 12-7. So they really did halt that early Saints momentum. But you're right, it was a good foul from Tuffin. If you are going to go up and challenge a player in that situation, make sure you stop them scoring. So many times as Nartai loses the handle.
Great hand by Ethan Rusbach to take it away. They were looking for the 2 for 1, instead got the 0 for 1. Got to get a shot up to make that worthwhile. Jared Kenny setting things up, going to wait for the on ball to come his way.
Kenny looking to run a play here. Bartlett with the 3 ball. That's what the veteran can do. He'll be called upon off the bench. They're asking for a double dribble.
They're right. Donnie Samuel got away with one.
Bogdanovic can't capitalize though, and there's still 4 seconds. This is scrappy all of a sudden. Nobody wants to take control. And that is the end of a frenetic opening quarter to this one. It means so much to both teams. It is the Hawks in front of their home fans that have started the better of the two, but this is game on. Hawks 27, Saints 20.
Here we go for number 2. Making it look easy, Michelle. You can be a future Taylor Hawk. Let's do it one more time. Third shot for John. Round of applause for my birthday queen here. How old are you? 10 years old. Well, well done, mate. Come over here and grab a prize. The Cells NBL seal. Thanks to Cells Pizzas. The Cells NBL seal is now available at all Cells pizzerias across New Zealand. A combination of the famous steel pepperoni, classic cheese, and delicious garlic knots, all added to a deal that'll make you drip.
Welcome back to Pettigrew Green Arena, and the arena is buzzing, and so it should be as we approach the end of the regular season. Two teams right in the mix, the Hawks more so than the Saints. Plenty of highlights in that opening quarter. Casey Frank and the Saints started hot on the hot hand of Upshaw Jr.
They started off the hot hand of Upshaw Jr., who's shot fantastically well. He is still just about blemishless from the field as he shot 4 for 7, but it came back to earth. The Saints in that quarter only 34% from the field and 4 for 11 from deep. The Hawks 10 for 19, 52%, and 3 for 7 from deep, along with 4 trips to the Razine, out rebounding the Saints 15-9. This is a complete reversal of fortune from their game a week ago.
Even in that one, though, it was close, wasn't it, at the end of the first quarter? So the Hawks will know that there's plenty more to come from the Saints. Harris with some quick footwork, matched by Vodanovic. Again, two good mates in the Tall Blacks roster. Go head-to-head. Vodanovic wins that little battle. Samuel Bartlett stayed right in front of him, but couldn't help the basket going in and giving the foul away.
It perplexes me when I see the Saints dribble the ball up and not attack on the fast break. They are built to fast break and take advantage in transition. There, looked for a second like they weren't going to push it. Instead, get it to Donnie Samuel, and instantly on the rim, takes the foul, N1, a chance to cut it to 4 with the old-fashioned three-point play, but they need to keep their foot on the pedal. Got to push that pace.
First points for Samuel. Free throw comes up well short. He averages 17.5 this Cells NBL. Harris up high.
Bit of a 2-3 zone here from the Saints now.
Harris tries to get into the paint and upset that zone. Kenny. Bailey, little up fake. The floater, no good.
Oh, that's the kind of shot you want to force there. And now the counterattack by the Saints in transition. It's not just about pushing it, though. They have to get good looks.
Upshore on Kenny. There's one of those mismatches, Casey.
We see the difference between the first time Jared Kenny guarded Upshaw in the post and that time. Initially, he went to that fadeaway. This time, takes it straight to the cup, goes through the contact, forces the whistle, earns a trip to the Razine for just the second and third attempts from the stripe for the game for the Saints.
And we see there Reggie Upshaw Jr. There's some strength and size there. It's no wonder Casey Frank is saying go through the point guards if they are marking you in the post.
That's big man 101. You got to punish the switches. And the Saints did a great job of that in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, but have gone away with it, allowing the Hawks to switch with nonchalance. They have to make them think about it. Otherwise, that offense will grind to a halt.
Free throws not dropping for the Saints. Bartlett had a look, thought about it. Raukawa thinks about it and makes it.
Well, that's who you want to get to. That's the best three-point shooter on this Hawks squad. He has done it all season long. Offense has dipped a little bit as late, but he can always explode.
Up short, Bartlett got a hand in there, blocked from behind.
Not a bad attack, but you got to get that ball through hands. Force the defense to adjust. One-on-one will not get it done.
Salt against Samuel. Samuel stayed strong, arms straight up, and the Saints come away with it.
Great defense by Donnie Samuel down low. Rematched some Brisbane practices, I think, over in the Aussie NBL.
Vodanovic right in the paint in amongst it. Strong left-hand finish.
And really strong move. You see where he used that shoulder to displace Tawane G, take away his shot blocking ability before the finish.
Oh, Raukawa into Samuel. And off the glass, that is sweet, lovely touch.
No effect on the champ, spins off of him and gets to his spot. And then shows the deft touch with the kiss.
Raukawa is one of those players, and there are many of them on the floor here. That's the problem, though. Again, it's a mismatch. He can't defend Ngatai, but offensively, he can light it up.
They need to sag a bit on Raukawa, but help him out in the post as well. But that is too many dribbles on the mismatch. The good recognition by Ngatai is rewarded.
Raukawa.
Oh, I thought he was feeling it. But then somebody opened the door.
He'll still be feeling it, though. He is a player that flies high in the confidence stakes.
I've yet to meet a scorer who misses a shot and thinks, oh, that's it for me.
I'll stop now.
I think there's a reason. Those guys don't make it very far. You got to have that goldfish memory as a shooter. Missed one? No, I didn't. I'll take the next one.
Here's this matchup again.
There it is. See if the double comes now. If the double does not, here we see Jack Salt rushed in. The cut by Xavier Cooks as Jack Salt or Duron Raukawa picks up foul number 2. That is correct. Foul number 2 on Duron Raukawa.
So they've got to keep an eye on that, because I mean the first one was a real cheap one. That one also might fall into that category.
Don't know why they don't go right back at him. See if you can get foul number 3.
Cooks on Harris, and that's a much tougher proposition. There's one of the best defenders in the league.
Good physical defense, tough matchup. Cooks would like his chances, but Hiram Harris has won that battle a few times tonight already.
Ruspatch on the curl. Off the front of the late whistle here.
Well, it's going to be on the box out.
Okay.
Jordan Ngatai and Jack Salt tied up. Jordan Ngatai getting called for the hold. Jack Salt rewarded for the hustle as Ngatai picks up foul number 2.
So both Rosters and Ngatai will sit, and we'll see Mulvihill into the game.
And you see when the Saints bring in a true point guard, now it looks like they're going to settle into this 2-3 zone, but they lose some of that matchup advantage on the other end by bringing in a true point. Allows the Hawks to settle into a more conventional defense.
Donnie Samuel and Duron Raukawa. You've got 2 players there that don't mind a chat during a game of basketball.
Or other times. It's not bouncing ball specific.
Harris. A G at the Razine and crashes into the paint. Vodanovic is a big unit to try and get through, though, and Cooks is the beneficiary with the rebound. Mulvihill now.
Physical game today. Defenders are doing such a nice job of slowing down penetration without fouling.
Raukawa was in the air and sailed past Vodanovic, and then Harris got a piece of Tommy V.
Oh, poor foul there. Tom Vodanovic was just hunting that triple. Looked like it was always going to be difficult, but just enough contact after the second up fake to send him to the Razine for 3 desperately needed attempts. The Saints yet to hit one from the stripe, 0 for 3 up to this point.
Vodanovic is right in that scoring and rebounding zone with so many of the Saints. they're great numbers, but because they've got multiple players with great numbers, they're not sort of any individual that's outstanding. But he's 17.5 points, 8.9 boards, so he's posting some great numbers.
Yeah, he's really developed as a dependable offensive player from anywhere on the court. He's got the shooting stroke, he's got the post-up game. I just love his work rate, always creating things, making things happen. He's continuing to affect the game on this one. The Hawks feeling the pressure after 3 big shots from the regime for Tommy V.
It's Nartai will check back into the game. You just see top of camera there, it's Samuel that leaves, so Mulvihill stays on the floor. We are at that stage of the season. Most, if not all, players are pretty game fit, so you can expect to see high minutes for a lot of these players.
40 minutes, that's a walk of the park. They got it down.
Oh my goodness, it is a flat 3 ball, but it is so good.
Finding the range from deep. Not known as a 3-point shooter, but 2 for 2 here in the first half. Responsible for that 5-point lead.
Nartai through traffic, and the pass didn't find its target. Raukawa, it falls for Raukawa. This is good from the Hawks.
Tawane G doing everything, but then getting mixed up there. Surprise, I wonder, that looks like a no call, but it could be called for a delay of game possibly, but they're gonna say nothing. Looks like it's gonna be a free timeout. Tom Vodanovic trying to explain to referee Tim Brown, it's like, is he allowed to grab me like that when I've got the ball?
And still that conversation right back to the half court, but timeout is called. And in fact, I think Tommy V might have carried on beyond the half court, so he's one of those players that was under an illness cloud coming into this game. So we just keep a close eye there on Tom Vodanovic and just see if we can pick anything up with the body language. But they'll get through on adrenaline if they need to, these players at this stage of the campaign. They've got to play like there's no tomorrow.
I believe these are the first 2 3-point makes of Tawane G's season. He is looking at some stats right here. He was shooting 0% on 1.3 attempts per game.
So do we suggest he's been watching the Cells NBL highlights and he's Mike Carina inspired?
Maybe just the space has inspired him, but what a time for him to find his first 2 attempts from deep this season.
And they look good, Casey. They didn't look awkward. It looked like he's been shooting that in practice for years.
Well, the first one looked a little awkward out of the corner. Didn't have a lot of lift to it, but that second one looked pure as the driven snow. And the 7-point lead for the Hawks after he hits the big 3, gets the steal, leads the break. Tawane G was influential to the max against the Franklin Bulls in the first half in their victory to come back from their Saints loss. And now having the same kind of impact here in the second quarter as the Hawks lead by 7 and the Saints are looking for some answers on the defensive end.
And both teams are playing like teams destined for the postseason. The numbers are impressive, as is that little assist in the lane, and Upshaw Jr. with the finish.
Up to 13 points now. It had been a bit of time between drinks, but back on the board.
This match just went exploring. It has been something he's gone to a lot this year. The 3 ball's not been up to his usual efficiency, but he's contributed in different ways. We thought about it again. Why not? G this time. Fade away off the glass, no good.
A good close up by Tom Vodanovic, not just giving him the shot, but forcing the miss. His up shot feels comfortable.
Cooks, shoulder, blocking foul.
I thought there was going to be the offensive foul called, sold by Hiram Harris, but Tim Brown calls the block, and that will be bonus free throws now for the rest of the quarter for the Saints. As Xavier Cooks heads for his first 2 attempts from the regime.
Certainly one of those calls, Casey, that could have gone either way. No complaints, though, from Hiram Harris.
And it would have been big on Xavier Cooks, as he does have 1 personal already. Just 1 for 5 from the field, Xavier Cooks. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, but unable to have the normal statistical impact on a game he has up to this point. The Hawks have done a nice job of setting extra bodies. Hiram Harris, as the initial defender on the point of attack, has been fantastic, but he will have to head to the bench now as he picks up foul number 3. Pardon me, foul number 2.
Yeah, he stayed. Salt's gone. So they have left him out there for now, but you're right on the knife edge, aren't you, with 2 at this stage of the game?
Well, especially if you're going to be guarding Xavier Cooks. And, but with 2 fouls, I'm more than happy leaving him in the game. Matching that defense. He's a fantastic defender, a heads-up player. He knows how to do it.
Yeah, and you can trust him, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think he would be. He's a foxhole guy for me. I trust him anywhere.
So the Saints hang tough. Hawks halted that early Saints momentum in the first quarter.
And it is about hanging tough. You're absolutely right. Just doing enough to stick with them as the Hawks turn it over again.
And Harris will be disappointed with that because Bailey had every right to catch that and finish. It was fairly well posted that Harris was going to pass that.
Yeah, just a little low and quick for Quentin Bailey. You got to understand who you're passing it to. Some of the big guys don't have the softest hands.
Mulvihill on Raukawa. So a genuine PG on PG as Mulvihill brings it up the floor. A name steeped in New Zealand basketball history, of course. And Cooks,
legal screen.
Yeah, there's a foul ahead of Cooks there, just clearing the traffic.
Dane Samuel getting mixed up with Hiram Harris, enjoying the extracurricular activity, clearing that space, and Tim Brown makes the call, his first personal foul.
Tuffin back in, the Saints skipper.
But that's the kind of shot Xavier Cooks needs to see drop to get himself back in rhythm, feel that touch going. Even though it didn't count, the confidence will rise.
Harris, hand off to Raukawa. Bailey on the floor. G, Rusbatch. Raukawa goes basket hunting. I love his aggression.
He just denies the screen, goes the other way, and straight to the cup. Never stops, so he never stops attacking.
Bogdanovic kicks it back out. Awkward, though, for Cooks on Harris with the 2 fouls. And Harris good defending and doesn't give up a 3rd foul, but you think Cooks knows the numbers too.
Yeah, I don't like the post as much for Cooks. What a take by Hiram Harris, and 1.
Wow, that looked as though it was not going to drop. Somehow it does, and he'll be off to the Razine.
Well, defense doesn't step up. There's the foul from Tom Bogdanovic on the arm, and Hiram Harris gets the end one. What a response to a little mini flurry from the Saints as they were cutting it down, had it back to 5. Hiram Harris full court right on the rim, and it looks like he might have disrupted the net, no longer tied up in there, so we might have to see a little delay as someone with a ladder comes out and puts it back in.
Yeah, I would imagine players will be headed to the benches momentarily because that's dangerous.
It's fine. Well, the rims at the park never had nets.
Yeah.
Just go play some hoops, guys. You get your finger kind of there, you rip it off, no big deal.
The finger or the net?
Either one. Either one, it's fine.
Yeah, there's a few people.
Basketball used to be tough in this country. What's going on here?
A few people pulling a few faces at home right now, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they do carry on, but the officials will tend towards the safer side of the decision.
You just hear Jared Kenny's out here to check it out now. Might be on the court illegally, but all you need is to have somebody jump up and reset it. But nobody wants to get up on the rim and waste the energy. Too much in this game right now. They'll sort it out at halftime, I suppose.
Yep. Well, for now, it looks like they will carry on. Harris from the Razine. That and 1 opportunity. Bogdanovic picking up the foul. And makes the free throw, does Harris. And the Hawks now kick clear by 8.
Hiram Harris up to 11 points. 3 double-figure scores for the Hawks. A G with 10. Raukawa with 10. And Harris now with 11.
Interesting for the Hawks, just 4 turnovers. They had 21 in that last heavy defeat against the Saints. So they've certainly made a big difference there. Samuel with a soft finish.
After the strong, powerful offensive rebound, second chance opportunities starting to pile up for the Saints in this one.
Rokawa. Bailey just went straight upstairs. Harris comes flying through.
Bailey left that opportunity wanting, but Upshaw with the powerful rebound.
Natsai, good finish.
A little of their own medicine right back at him, straight down the middle. Is Jordan Natsai, nobody stops him. The aggressiveness is rewarded. The lead is cut to 4 with just 2:34 left in this half.
Yeah, and McDonough has a pretty stern look on the face. He calls a halt to proceedings as that lead is halved. And, perhaps the ease with which Natsai crashed through there. Look at Vodanovic looking for oxygen, so perhaps feeling the effects. But that was the finish from Harris. He certainly was looking to slam that home. Vodanovic got enough to stop the slam dunk going home, but not the basket.
Soft touch from Dane Samuel in response. As the Saints not playing their best basketball, down their point guard. Unexpectedly had a bout of illness go through the team this week. But right there, with 2 minutes remaining here in the first half, down 4 on the road in a tough environment. This is where they want to be. Now it's closing time. Who closes this quarter better? This could be the game right here. That's the way it happens in a tight game like this. If the Hawks can stretch that back out, grab momentum, that'll be so much confidence boost in their home court. If the Saints can somehow continue to turn the screws on the Hawks defensively and find the lead themselves, the converse would be true.
Well, the box score would suggest that the Hawks' lead should be better, and the Saints, I think, would be the happier of the two teams. The Hawks are shooting 48% from the floor. They're shooting 44% from 3, just the 4 turnovers, and yet their lead is only 4. The Saints are desperately trying to stay in the top 6 equation. Bailey from the corner, he liked it.
Unselfish pass by Tawana AG, but the Saints got to get it across quickly, and they do.
Natsai back with the point guard duties, kicks it out for Cooks. Had all the time in the world. It turned into a pass to Bailey, who almost traveled.
Dane Samuel all over that one. Great look for Cooks, but cannot find the range by a wide margin.
Harris, Shaw Jr. trailing him and doing enough to turn possession over. They get it back again, the Hawks.
It's going to be late in the shot clock.
What's Tim Brown seen?
Yeah, it's up to 6. They reset the shot clock there when Jordan Natsai went to dive on it. Never had possession, though. So now it'll be 6 seconds left on the clock for the Hawks to get a shot up.
Kenny, veteran tall black guards coming off the bench these days for the Hawks. Bartlett also in that veteran category. He's out on the floor at the moment as well. Salt's back out there. Bailey with the breather. And there's confirmation of 6 seconds on that shot clock. There's also a good opportunity just to get the floor wipers out there after a player had hit the deck. G, not long to shoot this. Don't want to be back by the half court. Jared Kenny to the Razine and just lobs it up. Does not get the roll.
Almost got it. Regardless of the solid defense, had a great look at the end. But Xavier Cooks rebounding in traffic once more.
Cooks, that left hand finish, too strong. It's a game of volleyball here.
Is that a kick on the Hawks or the Saints? They're saying Xavier Cooks kicked that one. The football, the result of the whistle.
G. Salt and G on the floor. That's the way they started, playing the 2 bigs out there together. Of course, Jordan Hunt not here on Tall Black's duty. And Salts can't get the finish, but will go to the Razine.
A strong move on the interior once again from the Hawks. A nice patience shown on that possession. The Saints talking through their offense. They have not looked smooth on either end. A lot of that disjointedness due to the Hawks. Their physicality on the defensive end, their patience on the offensive end. Could it be rewarded for Jack Salt, the Razine? Not on number 1. What a late season entrance for the Salts, the Hawks, bringing Jack Salt back. Missed a bit of time trying to get his body right after a bout of illness earlier in the season. Went to the States, did some rehab at his alma mater, but is back and really giving the Hawks a boost at the right time of year.
He misses both free throws though, but yeah, and Jack was always, I think, reasonably confident that if given time, he would be back this Sal's NBL season. And Cooks has gone to the basket very quickly, drawn the foul.
And we really give Jack his flowers at the wrong time. Missed 2 free throws on one side, gets the N1 on the other. Xavier Cooks, that time, that was attacks I like more. Him facing the basket, putting the ball on the floor, taking advantage of quickness. When you're asking him to back down Hiram Harris, even though he has a bit of a size advantage, that's not really a strength advantage. That's a tough move. But Jack Salt in transition, I can use my quickness, I can use my ball handling ability and beat you to the cup. Can't hit the free throw though. It's been such, is the foul gonna be called? Or are they gonna keep it? No foul called, ball stays to the Saints. Let's see, they're gonna discuss it. There was contact there, but Tawana G was trying to sell the foul. The foul is not gonna be called, so it will be Saints ball.
Well, the referees have, for large parts, kept the whistles in their pockets, and the players have got to make that adjustment.
And they finally put Xavier Cooks 2 points on there. What an opportunity for the Saints to draw even here.
6-point run. This to draw them level. Was the foot on the line? Only a 2.
Yeah, just a 2. Foot was on the line. What a shooting stroke Upshaw Jr. has shown this evening.
8-point run, and we're all tied up at 41. Score not yet.
It'll get there.
Adjusted. 41 apiece, folks. Kenny on Natai puts his head down, but was always second favourite there. Now the Saints 2-on-1. Oh, goodness me. Was that a pass on purpose?
Either way, it's a pass that counts. I think it got tipped away by Everard Bartlett, but heads-up play by Kenneth Tuffin on the spot, off the glass, and the lead to the Saints. What a first-half comeback from Wellington.
Hawks will have a last look at this, and they will desperately want to be back on level terms. Blocked by Samuel. The Saints with a chance. Cooks gets to the bucket and rolls it in.
Wow.
12 points.
Doesn't count. I haven't seen it count or not, but it does. The bucket is good. What a heads-up play and an incredible turn of events to close the quarter.
12-point run for the Saints, and they turn an 8-point deficit into a 4-point lead. They are fighting for their lives in the Sal's NBL. Saints lead it over the Hawks at halftime, 45-41. action is entertaining the crowd here at half-time. It's a great half-time show. It's been a great half of basketball. The Hawks, though, on the wrong end of a 12-0 run by the Saints, and the Saints turn an 8-point deficit into a 4-point lead, and the numbers otherwise very even, Casey Frank, as we look through the individual stats.
Yeah, it's scoring spread on both sides, but Reginald Upshaw Jr. certainly carrying the load for the Saints as we see the three-headed monster for the Hawks Bay. But there was a possession battle early in the game. The Hawks had a big advantage on the rebounds as the game came along. The Saints ate that right back up. The rebound total 24 to the Hawks, 23 to the Saints. But it was the aggressiveness in that second quarter from the Saints as they started attacking. Rukawa and Cooks leading the way, passing the ball. Both teams making the extra pass when needed. But it's about execution in the half court. Look at the blocks. Donnie Samuel with 3, Xavier Cooks with 2. The Saints are one half a block party to start this one. But you got the mindset, the aggressiveness of the Saints in that second quarter. 0 attempts from the Zine in the first quarter, 9 in the second. Only made 5. That percentage isn't great, but the aggressiveness, getting on the rim, the way they adjusted at quarter time, really well done.
And whilst the Saints lead by 4, both teams, I would imagine, would be reasonably happy with their execution. The numbers, the efficiency's pretty good from both teams. Yeah,
not a lot of turnovers, just 5 for the Hawks, 3 for the Saints. They're going to be happy there. But the Hawks Bay Hawks, the way they imploded at the end of the quarter, they're going to have to fix that and find a way to bounce back from the lead that they gave up.
All to play for. The Saints looking to finish their season on a little unbeaten run if they're going to make the 6. The Hawks are a couple of wins ahead of them on the ladder, but still not secure in the 6 themselves. Stay with us, folks. Second half action from Napier coming up. Welcome back into Pettigrew Green Arena. The atmosphere is fantastic. The crowd are right into this edge of the seat stuff, albeit a little more nervous with that 12-point run for the Saints to close out the half. Good evening, welcome in, folks. This is the Sal's NBL at its best. We are not yet in the postseason, but we may as well be. That's the edge that these two teams are having to bring to this one. Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Casey Frank, and we've gone through the numbers, just confirming also no one really in too much foul trouble. Nartai with 2, Vodanovic with 2, and for the Hawks, Jared Kinney with a couple, Harrison Raukawa also with a couple, but no one in foul trouble.
No, but this has been a seesaw battle. There is not much in between these two teams right now. They're both playing well enough to win, but in a game that this close, it's going to be the little things. It's going to be the mental errors, the mental mistakes, getting shoved out of bounds, not getting the call, those kind of turnovers. That a G turnover right at the end of the half that allows what should have been a chance to tie things up, instead take the lead. So every little mistake has been pounced down up to this point. Both teams finding a lot of success in transition when they're aggressive onto the rim and not settling for jump shots in the mid-range or deep. That is when both teams have been at their most successful. But they're going to have to come back and do it again. It is a grindy game. But these kind of games, iron sharpens iron, and whoever comes out of it is going to have one sharp sword.
Looking at the rotations, both rosters really going 8 deep, a genuine 8 deep for the Hawks, with Bartlett, the 8th player, having played 5 minutes 50, whilst for the Saints, Francis Mulvihill is their 8th player, and he's played just 2 minutes 30. So no surprise at this stage of the season that the rotations are fairly short.
No, they've had to go probably a little bit deeper, have the Saints, with the absence of Mike Smith. You know, some of those point guard minutes that have gone to Ringamari Dulumita and to Francis Mulvihill. Those would have been Mike Smith's minutes. Kenneth Tuffins out there just played 10 minutes in this one. He was instrumental against the Hawks a week ago. He was huge in the first half, hit some really timely shots. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a little bit more run in the second half, but that versatile lineup of the Saints with Kate and with Cooks playing the de facto point guard and big across has been really difficult for the Hawks to figure out on both ends, even though it's been a bit of a chess match.
Yeah. Tuffin had 14 points, in fact, in that big win, as you say, found his shooting stroke. And, referees have been consistent, and the players have made that adjustment. There were a few early conversations, but do you describe this as they're refereeing it like a postseason game? There's a little more contact allowed?
I mean, I don't know if that's how they'd say it, but that's the way I view it from the outside. That's the way I used to feel as a player when, you know, you get into a game and there's, you know, some of the bumps and the bruises or the niggles that normally get a whistle blown aren't getting blown because, you know, it's a playoff atmosphere. It's two teams that the officials are saying, hey, go out and earn it on the court. There's no gifts here. Whatever you want, you're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to go get it and grab it and take it home yourself.
Settle in, folks. So the Sal's NBL is heating up towards the postseason. And these two teams desperate to be there. Can the Hawks stop this run of scoring from the Saints? Cooks was instrumental. Samuel Nartai. Upshaw Jr. gets to the elbow and does not start the second half as he started the first.
A really nice, patient offense, though, really working the Hawks defensively. But it can't be a one-off. You can't just do it right out of the half and then not do it anymore back to the on ball. You need to keep that mindset. Great defense by the Hawks, though.
Raukawa shakes Nartai, and he can't make it drop. Jack Salt, though, that's where he does his work best.
And Jack Salt with the catch underneath. Took his time to get it up. The Saints have to be aware, not a great free throw shooter. As the game goes along, I'd be surprised if he gets more easy opportunities like that under the rim.
A little bit of hack-a-jack, maybe. Samuel Vodanovic, Cooks drives, won't drop.
Oh, gets it back. The stick to it in this. Xavier Cooks doesn't get the mid-range little floater to drop, but earned the opportunity.
That second chance points in the first half. One of the few statistical categories where there was separation, as RG just got separation and finishes long two.
Showing the shooting stroke from the mid-range. This time he's having a fantastic offensive game. 12 points on 4 for 7 from the field. Sorry, 5 for 7 from the field.
Samuel steps back for the three.
Oh, that is a big triple in response with Jack Salt in coverage. Solid defense. He was up to contest, but not contest well enough.
Harris just telegraphed the pass. Vodanovic got a hand on it. Oh,
no call.
No call.
No call. On a flop call on Daron Arakawa. I mean, I don't know if that's a flop.
He's a fairly big human being, and you're stationary, and you can literally, Daron just said, flop?
The flop on that? I always struggled with the flop call when I got hit, when I was trying to take a charge. If some 6'10" dude is dribbling down full court and I'm Daron Arakawa, and I wear that one in the chest, and I got hit for a flop, I'd have some questions. But the call is made. No harm, no foul. Put those whistles. Nothing easy today.
Yeah, and the Saints go back clear by 5 again after the Hawks had leveled it up at the start of the second half. Arakawa, and he gets the whistle going his way this time, and he'll go to the line, and he can shoot free throws.
Well, I'm not 100% sure who that foul is on. I think Jordan Atai. And if it is, I believe he picks up foul number 3. But Daron Arakawa comes back to respond as the Saints grab that 5-point lead.
He's through the rehearsal. And, both teams having trouble. Certainly the Saints did. I'll find the numbers on the free throw shooting, but the efficiency not as high as they would like. For the Saints, 5 of 9. And the Hawks a little better. I think that's now 6 of 8. Or did he miss both?
He got the second one in after missing the first, but
I was glancing at the stats.
Nothing free today. Nothing free today.
Samuel feeling it from long range. Comes up short though.
The Saints, they hit one shot, they want to get hot, but they need to keep working things. What a block by Reginald Upshaw. The Saints are controlling the space around the rim as Tawana G picks up the foul a long ways from the cup. That's going to be foul number 1 on him. He's got plenty in the bank to go. Looked like an easy opportunity for Daron Arakawa there, but just snatched away at the last second.
Yeah, it looked like he'd created a little space, but Upshaw Jr. timed it perfectly. Cooks on the curl, kicks it out. Vodanovic, he will make that all day long, Tommy V. That's a great offensive set there.
A beautiful piece of offense. They give the ball to Cooks, rolling off that handoff so he can get the ball on the run. And then the defense collapsed his vision, finding Vodanovic in the corner for the triple. Perfectly executed.
Raspach has not found those openings in the lane, tries to draw some contact.
Wow.
Did he draw it though? Someone's down on the floor. It's turned over here by the Saints. I didn't see who it was that was down.
Tom Vodanovic on the contest as the Hawks are trying to come back quickly. Vodanovic saying it's a bit of a wet spot down there. Watch out for it.
So it was Raspach trying to get a whistle on the 3-point shot. Arakawa with all the time in the world.
Well, no one guarding him whatsoever. He just spaces over there. And whoever was initially assigned with the defensive assignment did not stick to it.
Plenty of offense. It has been end-to-end stuff. Oh, great little
what a block.
fake. G says, get out of here. What have they ruled on the way down?
Goaltending. They ruled goaltending on that one, which is not what I saw from my angle. That looked like it was well on the way up. Don't know if we have a replay of that one, but Tom Vodanovic should be feeling pretty fortuitous to get that whistle.
Wow, and the Hawks, to their credit, just heads down and getting back on with it. But they've had a couple of calls not go the way they would like. Harris, how does he make that bucket?
He just willpower, forces it in. Looked like it was under the rim, but somehow finds it.
Nartai kicks it out. Vidanovic, he's been there before. Gets both feet in the paint this time, though. Ajee goes up. Vidanovic can't get the finish. Harris with the board.
Tawana Ajee maybe thinking about that last play that got called the goaltend with the second shot. Illegal screen on Jack Salt. That's one he gets just because he's a big guy. He looked like he was standing pretty still. Here we see the Vidanovic move. He goes up, lets it go. Oh, it's close to the peak. I can see from the angle that Tim Brown would have been on why he would have made that call. A bang-bang play at the best of times. I'll go with the official.
Yeah, the G.J. Gardner replay highlighting it was certainly much closer than we thought at first look. And hopefully they've got the floor wipers out there and tidied up. Tom Vidanovic has kind of had the whole half of the floor covered with a couple of tumbles. Jordan Nartai makes it go, and the Saints, they just stay clear of the Hawks here.
Upshaw gets the foul on that one, as Hiram Harris is taking advantage of that matchup in transition, much the way on the other end. Jordan Nartai just has too much size for Jared Kenny to keep him off his line. Well, Hiram Harris has too much speed for Reginald Upshaw Jr. to stick with him as he gets all the way to the cup again. A couple of desperate drives by Hiram Harris, rewarded with a make, and now a trip to the Racine.
This tempo, Casey, it feels very high. It feels very fast-paced. Who does that suit?
Well, I think the Saints are more comfortable going up and down, but they don't have the depth they normally have, and they've had illness. So will they have enough in the tank to get it done? The Hawks, yeah, they can grind it out more, but they have the personnel for this. They've got the guys who, if you want to run, we can run all day too. Well, is that a violation on the free throw? Not called.
And interesting, it's Jack Exeter, who's had regular minutes this season, as Ajee gets a piece of the ball. What's the ruling here?
Well, it's going to stay with the Saints, but the quick question is, how much time do they have to get it across the court? 2, maybe 3 seconds went off there, so they're only going to have possibly 5 or 6. An opportune moment to set the press and really force them.
There's some debate over.
Well, now it's got, are they talking about who hit it off? G's still trying to argue his cause there, but the quick pass up court gets, without any worries about the 8-second call.
Nartai on Kenny has the size advantage. Nartai pirouetting, and Tim Brown says taking some steps in the process. Look at Raukawa. He is trying to play up tempo.
Yeah, he wants to get it going. He sees what Hiram Harris sees. If this Saints squad isn't set in the half court, those driving lanes are there. You really like his mindset. Push it. We got to attack these guys. Attack, attack, attack.
Rusbach has not had those catch and shoot opportunities.
Just 2 points for Rusbach, all from the free throw line.
Harris, when he makes his mind up, he's so tough to stop when he gets going downhill.
That second level of defense has got to be more aware of his driving. It's not about the man on the ball. It's about the help side when Harris is going to the cup.
Oh, a little crossover there, and straight to the bucket for Cooks.
The body control and the footwork, so impressive on that move on the step through.
Kenny with a little trickery. Raukawa again. They leave him all alone. That time they get away with it.
Physical rebound, but back the other way already for the Saints.
Harris took a good one to the ribs. He's sitting on those 2 fouls, so has to be careful.
Recognition by Vidanovic. He's got Kenny on him. He's right to the post.
Too easy.
Oh, it's the recognition from me. Vidanovic sees in the semi-transition that they got switched up. Kicked it to the wing, straight to the post. Give me the ball. Feed me.
Harris, Rusbach does have a catch and shoot opportunity, can't make it, and they are few and far between.
Just his 5th shot of the game.
Upshaw Jr. Rusbach was there. Cooks goes upstairs with a bit of showtime.
Great G defense, but Xavier Cooks refusing to be denied above the rim again.
Ajee, and he's traveled. So this is a little dangerous here for the Hawks, threatening to get out of hand. They trail by 8, but this is spectacular athleticism here.
Look at that crash by Xavier Cooks above the rim. I think it was the help of Rusbatch that was responsible for the box out on Cooks, and because of his help, no one there to take away that second chance opportunity from him. Ethan Rusbatch, look at him out there rubbing. Looks like he got a dead leg, a bruise in the thigh, trying to stretch that out. Not what the Hawks would be hoping for.
Well, the shooting stats are just improving gradually, slowly but surely for the Saints, and you do feel that the Hawks, Casey, they're just struggling to find a defensive answer. They just can't get stops, and that lead consequently has just extended here for the Saints.
Well, they've been relentless. You know, the Hawks have found opportunities to attack, but it has not knocked the offensive train of the Saints off the tracks. They're being able to come back time and time again when they control possession on the glass, and they have opportunities for a transition or semi-transition. They have been scoring at those with such great efficiency here in the third quarter. It's been a really nice response to a spirited walk out of the tunnel from the Hawke's Bay Hawks.
And Cooks has a double-double, 12 points, 10 boards, also 4 assists, 2 block shots for Xavier Cooks. So he is, as he always does, week in, week out in the cells, he's affecting right across that box score. Toughen.
Foul on Everard Bartlett there. 2 hands on the grab as Donnie Samuel is trying to get to the cup. And the Saints have come out of timeouts and breaks here in the second half and been really deliberate with their offense. Multiple cuts, the ball swinging side to side, really trying to wear down the defensive efforts of the Hawks.
Shaw Jr. sitting at the moment. Dougal Meters out there. So to Toughen. Nartai. Switch now, Harris on Nartai. That leaves Kenny on Samuel, but they turn it over the Saints.
Well, just when they got a chance to put the screws on, the careless turnover. You know, trying to fling it across court with one hand, and if you're going over the outstretched, leaping hands of Xavier Cooks, that is a well off-target pass delivered on that occasion. Well, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. This is closing time of quarters. Down 8. In the second quarter, the Hawks had that huge 12-point run to finish. Do the Hawks have something similar to get themselves back in the ball game?
Yeah, and not only can the Hawks find something similar, but if the Saints were to repeat, that could put this one to bed.
This match, he has to take advantage. He does.
Draws the contacts, Raukawa.
He sees that Upshaw's got him as a point guard. He's got plenty of space to go. It just goes, drives to the body, finds the contact, gets the shot up. Easy whistle to be blown. And Arakawa back to the Razine for his attempts there. 14 points for him, 6 for 12 from the field. Just 1 for 2 from the stripe though.
Hawks, it's kind of a double whammy here. Of course, if they win, they help their top 6 aspirations, but they put a huge dent in a real title contender in the Saints, so they can do a lot of teams a big favor here if they can win this one.
Yeah, especially those teams with the top 2 seeds. I think they're looking at the possibility after having to face the Saints in those early matchups and saying, did we do all that work to have to face this squad in the finals?
Mulvihill shoots the 3 ball with Harris in front of him. Mulvihill says, give me more minutes, coach.
Well, not a great possession, but what a result. The shot making of the mullet coming to form.
So Dougal Meter and Mulvihill on the floor, and Bartlett can't make the 3, and they are starting to lose contact here, the Hawks.
10-point to lead now, 2 minutes 15 to go. If they do not make inroads here in the last 2 minutes, or at least hold steady, it is going to be a tough ask in the fourth quarter.
Kenny's got a big piece of the Upshaw Junior arm here. Pleads his case, but the jury will not deliberate for too long, I don't think.
Well, his argument is that I hit the ball first, then I hit the body. So at that point, it's a free play. But that is not the way Tim Brown sees it.
The kids surrounding the court here at Pettigrew Green. Basketball right around the country on such a high. All of the Sal's NBL clubs doing such a great job. Samuel, the 3-ball. Oh my goodness me, Darnay Samuel's come to play.
Oh, big shot made there. More pressure on the Hawks as the Saints finishing quarter strongly once again.
Jared Kenny goes through traffic. He had a pretty decent sort of a traffic island in front of him. Jack Salt was clearing the way.
That helps. A bit of a snow plow, clearing things off the runway.
You could do with that down south at the moment with the way the weather's been this last week or so. A little more temperate here in the Hawke's Bay.
Mulvihill goes to the bench after the huge triple that gives the Saints just so much breathing space. He hasn't played much, but huge effect on the game with the shot that he made there.
Rolkoa, they need these to drop now. He gets to one of his favorite shooting spots.
He loves that mid-range. The late contest not enough to deter the make. Rolkoa stepping up and carrying a load offensively. But 11 points, the deficit. They need to string stops together. That's the most important thing.
Vodanovic from the corner. Rebound, they get in each other's way. It'll be Saints ball.
Saints let off the hook there. 1:30 left in this one. Not a bad shot, but this is the time to turn the screws. Be patient. Just pile on that lead.
Samuel feeling it.
Or the other way.
Oh, wow. Darnay Samuel.
Or the other way. I'm going to let it fly and drop triples like I can pick them out of the sky. Darnay Samuel showing the range.
And it is the Saints who are finishing strong again, as they did at the end of the second. Upshaw Jr. with the block.
Wow, I think that's block number 3, possibly 4. What a defensive performance he's putting together. Not bad on this end either.
Oh, this is killing them. The Hawks are being buried by an avalanche of threes.
The closing quarters once again. The Saints coming out to close the quarter. 12-point run in the third. Something similar here as they've stretched the lead out to 17 with under a minute to go. What a turn of event for the Hawks, who felt like they would have been pretty well in control.
Darnay Samuel, the first one was out of the textbook. Bartlett with the response, but the whistle had gone. Samuel, that was catch and shoot with a hand in front of him. Who cares about using up the shot clock?
The shot, that only counts when you're not making shots. If you're making shots, you can shoot it on first touch every single time. But once again, closing the quarter, Darnay Samuel, 2 big threes, back to back off that one, interrupted by the Daron Arakawa floating jumper. It's been Daron. He's got their last 3 points, but 3 straight made threes from the Saints. The 2-point, the putback dunk from Xavier Cooks before that. That is a 13-3 run to close this quarter, with a minute still to go to see if the Saints can pile a little bit more on the pile.
The Saints progression, first quarter 20, second 25, third 30 with a minute to play.
They need a bucket desperately. Gotta find a high quality shot on this possession.
Saints smothering them. Bartlett for Rolkoa, has to shoot the basketball. Salt gets it up in time. It's waved away though, off the rim by Vodanovic.
Xavier Cooks, another rebound. Jack Salt just couldn't get it in from up close. One more time. Stays again for the Hawks. Xavier Cooks' work rate, fantastic. He doesn't get the rebound there, but he's the one who initiated that pass to Samuel. Then he gets on the glass and puts enough effort into it that Jack Salt doesn't have an easy rebound on it. Possession stays with the Saints. They've got 14 seconds here, and will leave the Hawks with a short shot clock for the final possession.
The Saints looking to repeat the dose of a week ago when they absolutely cleaned up the Hawks, and that looked good the moment it left the hand.
20-point lead, and the turnover forced by the Saints. Again, a mirror image of the second quarter where they forced a turnover late and absolutely dominated. A 16-3 run now to finish this quarter, a 12-0 run to finish the second.
And it's a mystery, it really is. The Hawks have just fallen into quite the hole. Samuel again. Oh,
wow.
Good night, Dane Samuel.
Wow, what a finish to the quarter. A 23-point deficit now.
This has absolutely been blown apart. What was a tense, tight tussle is now one-way traffic, and the Saints with a statement to the rest of the Sal's NBL. 81-58 they lead with a quarter to play. Welcome back. It's a shell-shocked Pettigrew Green Arena, a gym that for the most part tonight has been abuzz with excitement, anticipation and enjoying the tussle that they've watched, but we haven't picked it up on our cameras. It wouldn't surprise if maybe one or two have left the gym. Rusbatch tries a long triple, but the Saints are showing their championship pedigree here. Casey Frank.
And I've added it up, a 21-3 run to finish that quarter. The three-pointers keep falling. Well, one finally misses, but Xavier Cook's still there, keeping the pressure on this Hawk squad, who are still trying to push the pace because they need offense.
Ralcoa finds some, but you would think it's already destined for consolation conversations this final quarter. They have just been steamrolled 7 days ago, 117-87, and this promises to be just as bad. Cooks goes upstairs but met at the rim.
Well, a solid challenge as the stunned crowd in the Hawks Bay. Xavier Cooks comes over, has a little chat. Friendly guy, Xavier Cooks. He'll try and smash on your head, sure, but he'll come and check in on you afterwards.
Yeah, and I think respect there for Salt going up to challenge. I know there's talk of being put on a poster, but Jack Salt's a big enough unit to say, well,
that's the job.
Posterize me or not, I'm going to get up there and try and stop you.
If you're a big fella and you're a shot blocker, you're going to get dunked on once, twice, a couple dozen times. You know, it happens. But what's important are the ones you deter, the shots you affect. And when you go up to dunk on somebody once and they do that, you think about it the next time around.
Every loose ball, it seems, is falling the way of the Saints. Upshaw Jr., who started the game so brilliantly, has left it for others to take over in the second half.
And you say it's falling to the Saints, and it may look like it's all lucky, but they're creating their luck. They're creating their luck with aggression, hustle, putting themselves in the right place at the right time, and great execution.
Long two for Upshaw Jr.
Showing the range again. He is a bit of force as he is now on 22 points.
They need some of that, and they need a lot of that. As Kenny, did he get his feet
he did not.
In place? Called for the block?
Block is called. Needs to give him a little bit more time, I think, to catch and get out there. But he will always put his body on the line. I am shocked. The way that this game turned in that third quarter, the Hawks playing well, putting a lot. This is not the same as what happened last week, where the Hawks got blown out of the water and just weren't able to find the work rate. They are working hard. They are putting the effort in. But the Saints have snatched this game with malice aforethought out of their hands.
And their run home is away to the Jets, at home against the Giants, and away to the Tuatara. Whilst for the Hawks, as Cook's with a little floater for the Hawks, and they'll start getting the calculator out now. And they're going to finish with a home run of games. They have the Jets and the Rams, and they've got to get at least one of those, and preferably they'd want to win the last two. But the way they're traveling here, Casey,
the Rams have a pretty good chance to be fighting for some playoff battles in that last one. They're sitting on 7 wins, games against the Giants and the Sharks. They find a way to beat the Giants, they'll be sitting on 9, sitting in that last game as well. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at matchups in this last week. We'll have to get through these 2 rounds, but I'll tell you what, there are going to be some huge games on the final weekend of the season.
Ajee. Samuel worries him out of the shot, and Jordan Artai might be injured on the bench.
That came around quick, just a deflection by Tom Vodanovic there as the ball was trying to find Ethan Rusbatch in the corner. 7 seconds left on the shot clock for the Hawks to find something, and it looks like it's going to be Daron Arakawa putting in the work.
Toughen. Now Rusbatch on Vodanovic. Rusbatch has just been worried out of so many shots, just not been his night tonight.
It has been that type of night for him. Just hasn't been going his way. And the Saints not resting, they're still attacking. A lot of exploratory dribbles. They'll work the clock out, but they're looking for great shots just like that.
Rockoa being the much smaller man on that occasion, not like Jack Salt. He just stayed out of the way.
Yeah, he probably wasn't going to do anything except get a foul and maybe an N1, so wise decision.
Ajee fights for it.
Well, penetration. The Saints more than happy to trade buckets the rest of the way in this one. They're not even really working the clock, just kind of dribbling down, exploring, finding opportunities, and then taking them where they lie.
Toughen, a little up fake, trying to create some separation. Tane Samuel with one of the hardest bounce passes you'll see. And Harris was there to do enough, and the Hawks might have this.
Well, Harris hit it last, but that's a shot clock violation as the clock ran out. Good solid defense from the Hawks, but I don't think the Saints have any problem with letting 24 seconds run off the clock on every possession. That will work just fine for them.
Referee's just making sure they're on the same page, confirming the shot clock violation. Look at Ralcoa, just give me the ball ready.
He is ready to go. He is ready. I am ready. Can you guys decide what's happening?
Harris. Mulvihill back out there for the Saints. Bartlett. If he gets hot, if he gets streaky, you never know.
Nice screen there. Well-designed play. Ajee setting that down screen, that hammer screen, opening up space for Bartlett on top. Still there.
Harris. Can they get a few stops, make some buckets? Did Rusbatch have a toe on the line? It didn't matter, he missed. And it looked like he felt he was going to miss, just not in the headspace we're so used to seeing him in.
We're talking about that goldfish memory for shooters. That's what he's got to get. It can't be about the last shot. It can only be about the next one.
Mulvihill It's just ruined his 100% record from the floor.
A little too much strength in that one.
Quarterback pass left the stadium.
He is too much weights, not enough speed work. Tawana G letting it fly on that one. Turnovers, the last thing the Hawks need at this stage.
That was one aspect of their game they'd fixed in that first half, and that one already off the glass. That'll be a goal 10.
G pinged for a second goaltend this evening. As the Saints, with those quick attacks, are more than happy to take them if they're there.
Bartlett for G on Cooks. Should go to work here, you would think. Cooks has the length, though, just to worry him out of the shot.
He is a solid defender, such great strength and body control.
Mulvihill, some moves on the baseline. Kicks it out for Tuffin.
As the clock running out, not the friend of the Hawks. They need to create offense, but it is a tough task just one-on-one dribbling up.
And so we're at that stage as Jared Kenny's given away a cheap one here. The frustration is as much, I think, about the scoreboard and the way this game's played out as it is about the fact he's fouled out.
Not happy about picking up his 5th personal there in limited time. In that type of game, here we see the missed shot, or that's the make by Upshaw just previously. And the big triple from Everard Bartlett lines it up, lets it fly. We've seen that once or twice in the NBL over the last 20 years.
Yeah, and in the Tall Black singlet as well.
He is a
streaky shooter when he gets it going.
Anytime I think of Everard Bartlett, I think about a first half against Finland at the World Cup in 2014, where he bombed, I think, 3 triples. We built a big lead. Then the starters came back in and gave it back. Thanks, starters.
I wondered if there was a but coming in that story.
Still got the win. We got the win.
Still got the win. That's the fairy tale ending we wanted. Good luck to the Tall Blacks playing tonight about 1 a.m. I think on Channel 19 on your Sky Dakota Māori television up against South Korea in the Asia Cup quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals, a win would propel them through to the Australia-Japan winner.
And I guess in context with the young roster that's over there, they, considered underdogs for that one?
I believe they're a couple points underdog, 2.5, I believe, to South Korea, but a team that, if they play well enough, certainly capable of getting the victory against the South Koreans.
Mulvihill. Shaw Jr. Remember, the Saints are doing this without Mike Smith. They've not had, certainly not in their starting rotation, a genuine point guard. Mulvihill and Dougal Meter have had some minutes off the bench, and they are just using the shot clock here now. So that's a couple of shot clock violations, and as you said, Casey Frank, that's almost as good as a made bucket.
Yeah, they're happy with it. If they can run it out, tire down the Hawks, but they have to limit quick possessions on this end. It's their #1 goal, is work it down on that end, but work it down on this end as well.
Well, they do have another couple of home games to come, the Hawks, and they'll need the support of very loyal and very dedicated fans for those 2 matchups. Dane Samuel, little turnaround jumper from Dane, no good.
Well, you start to look at what the ladder is going to move to after this one. The Hawks will sit at 8-8. They won't move further down than 5th, but that margin for error and that path to 10 wins becomes a bit more difficult as Hiram Harris clears it up. But the Saints will move to 7-8 and 3 wins away from, it's not 100% guaranteed, but if you get to 10, I think you can just about punch your ticket to the postseason, and the Saints are right on the cusp of doing that.
And if teams are level, are we talking series splits here? And obviously the Saints will have that over the Hawks.
Yeah, if it's between 2 teams, it goes to the count back between those 2 teams. So just what's happened there. But if it's between 3 or more,
points differential,
all the games that happen between all the teams count.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just what you did against each other in those 2 games, but the games, those other 4 you had, if there's 3 teams in it, or those other 6 games, the total points scored between the 3 is how you add up the ties in cases of more than, or 3 or more teams being tied in the same spot.
And just given how tight the Cells NBL has been, Casey, I'd be very surprised if we're not reaching for the calculators.
Oh, it's good. As Hugh Bainin likes to say, I will reach for my abacus and start to tap it over.
Upshaw Jr. had a toe on the line, 2 only. Still impressive, though. And Natai with the steal, but he also has a toe on the sideline. So
27 points for Reggie Upshaw Jr. to go along with 10 rebounds, double-double for him, 3 blocks. How about the block shots? 3 for Upshaw, 3 for Donnie Samuel, and 2 for Xavier Cooks.
RG gets to the front of the rim and just needed to get another couple of centimeters.
It has been a game of centimeters as Xavier Cooks. Take it easy on the rim, young fella. As the Saints bench is about to clear, they have done the job.
Harris, nice offensive play there, but this one's very much now done and dusted as we reach those minutes that aren't going to count for much, as you say, Casey, apart from perhaps a little momentum maybe going into the next round and for some of the bench players to get out there.
I think a bit for the Hawks, it's about getting their starters to play as well as they can. You know, their confidence was down. They had that loss to the Saints was their 4th in a row. They bounced back against the Bulls, played better basketball, and they played better basketball today too. But they've just run into one heck of a shooting display, in particular to finish that 3rd quarter, where the Saints are now 12 for 29 from deep, but they had 5 in that 2 minutes 40 stretch to finish the 3rd.
Natai from the Razine.
Jordan Natai playing more of a facilitating role this season. Hasn't been asked to carry as much scoring load. And truth be told, he's the one who's sacrificing his game. This is, at times in the past, has been an MVP caliber player in the Sal's NBL, and he's sacrificing his game, carrying a little bit of an injury, not 100%, but tip of the cap to him for giving up his offensive game.
Yeah, he's a glue guy, isn't he, now in this roster, just delivering consistently, and certainly defensively. Here's Exeter for the Hawks, gets his first minutes on the floor. Harris, Saints still defending strongly. Harris drives to the rim.
And gets the kiss and the contact on Vodanovic. Always has a little something to say, as the Saints with Natai, Vodanovic, and Upshaw not quite sending in all the subs just yet. And for the Hawks, they're going to keep this going. Doesn't look like they're going to be subbing to anybody at all. They want to try and dig their way back into this game as close as possible. But we can stick this one in the freezer. It's a done deal.
Yeah. We'll start to contemplate other matchups over the course of this weekend in the Sal's NBL. And whilst the likes of the Jets and the Sharks, they're not chasing the 6, they can certainly have a huge impact. Every game has something riding on it. Harris with the and-one execution.
And a chance for the Hawks to set up their full court press again, cutting it down to 22. They want to get this one as close as possible.
And the Hawks are starting to run some of the bench players for the concluding moments. Exeter, I've mentioned, is out there. I think that might be Tommy Ferguson, is it? On the floor as well.
Tommy Ferguson, number 21. He's had a few moments this season, especially early, before the Hawks got the bulk of their roster lined up.
Two and a half left to play. And perhaps for the first time this evening, the pace may have just gone out of this one. Tuffin, Raukawa drives and off the glass. Natai. And again, look for the Saints here to use the shot clock as they too are rolling with a few rotations. Tom Gold out there, nice finish. And again, off the glass, toughen it was.
2 minutes left. Both teams reasonably going through the motions. Don't want to see anybody get hurt as Harris lets the triple fly. But it's all about what's coming up next. I mentioned a minute ago the Hawks with the Jets and Rams yet to play. That Rams game on the last weekend of the season. The Saints, on the other hand, this is not their only game this weekend. They also have the Jets. They're going to make their way there. And then they've got the Giants and the Tuatara to play in the final week.
Yeah, so you look at both those final matchups, potentially Hawks, Rams, and Saints, Tuatara, and they're going to be 2 games of basketball that you do not want to miss. You just get the feeling Tuatara have been in a hole, they've been struggling, so perhaps the Tuatara and the Hawks are running out of puff.
If I'm the Tuatara, I don't want to see the Saints in the last game of the year, the game that we have to win and they have to win to make it, as Tom Vodanovic strikes triple digits with the deep 3. The Tuatara, of course, have the Bulls this weekend. And if they win that one, they're in. If not, that is a huge game lined up for them to finish the year.
Yeah, I've got the call on that one. Pukekohe on Sunday afternoon. I would imagine that's going to be one noisy gym. With the Bulls also, like so many teams, right in that mix. As Gold puts up the 3, but the whistle before the shot.
I think a legal screen called, yeah. Tim Brown pings him for it. Not shooting free throws just yet. As you can see a disappointed Hawk squad on the bench.
Yeah, the starters are all out of there now. Albertson, Smiler, Ferguson, Bailey, Exeter on the floor for the Hawks. Similarly, the Saints have got some of their bench unit out there as well. Ferguson draws the foul. He will go to the Resine. Try and get on that box score. Tommy Ferguson.
Keep the score sheet ticking over. Nothing like getting into the end of the game and getting yourself a couple of highlights. Tommy Ferguson, a bit of an athlete as well. Gets a fast break. We might see him up on the rim.
What's he like from the Resine?
Hopeful based on the body language, but it drops.
Well, right now, that's as good as a free throw that hits nothing but net.
I mean, we're going to go through the stats in a minute, but touching base for this dominant Saints performance. Upshaw, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks. Xavier Cooks, 18 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks as well. 22 for Vodanovic. 18 for Dane Samuels, including those huge triples down the stretch of the third. A couple of buckets off the bench. We got Jordan Natai with 8 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds as well. Doodle Mita, Kenneth Tuffin, Mulvihill, all with 3 or 4 off the bench. For the Hawks, led by Hiram Harris with 24 points, 21 from Hirokawa, but just could not find enough offense to keep pace with what is the top offense in the competition, the Wellington Saints.
And this will be a little scrappy. Both teams in the penalty here, and they're not wanting to foul, but each time they do, the clock will stop, and Exeter will have an opportunity here from the Resine. Misses with the second. Tuffin, Natai.
Well, just trying to get to the end of the game without injuries, and if you're the Saints, you want to see a couple of buckets for guys who don't normally get them.
Tuffin, that's a pretty easy one. Shakes Exeter off and off the glass.
Well, what a performance once again from the Saints. Finding the offense all over the court.
Gold defending, and defending well enough, but they get another look at it. The Hawks scrambling, trying to get a shot away. 5 seconds. Gold defending, and that one rolls away. And that is all she wrote. A scramble at the end. It is the Saints. It's very, very similar in terms of the score. The margin is almost identical. They've smashed the Hawks and made another late statement to the Cells NBL that they are contenders. They win it 107-80.
A dominant performance from the second quarter onwards by the Saints. The Hawks improved effort from a week ago, improved execution for patches, but in the end, just too much talent from the Saints. There we see the leading scorers, Harris, Rakawa, G, all leading the way for the Hawks. Upshaw Jr., Vodanovic, Samuel, Xavier Cooks, all 18 or above for the Saints in a balanced scoring attack. The rebound, Xavier Cooks leading the way again, leading the league in rebounding, will continue to do so. As we see the assist, Doron Arakawa getting up there with him, but so is Xavier Cooks leading the way. Jordan Natai playing that de facto point guard. There's the block party. Everybody in on Everard Bartlett, 2 blocks.
Yeah, it's...
Somebody check the stats.
I recall one. I recall one block
right,
from behind, but I don't recall the second. But this has just been a statement performance from the Saints. They had some illness coming into it. Mike Smith did not suit up, and they've shrugged that off, and they've gone 2 from 2 in a week against the Hawks.
Hawks were fantastic in the first quarter, made things extremely difficult defensively for the Saints, who were a little bit out of sorts without their starting point guard, Mike Smith, able to run things for them. They weren't quite sure how to get their offense, and that second quarter, towards the end of that second quarter, everything changed. Upshaw Jr. kept them in the game early, keeping it from the lead really blowing out, but no matter where the Hawks went for answers late, the Saints had a response, and normally that response is from the three-point line.
And we're seeing that flurry of 5 threes in 2.5 minutes at the end of that third quarter. Bartlett drained a couple, but by now they were already too far adrift. So for the Hawks, they're in a hole. That's 5 from 6 that they've lost now. Confirmation of the games coming up. The Sharks and the Airs. Are the Airs starting to emerge as one of the genuine favourites in the Cells NBL? The Rams up against the Giants. Wow, what a Southern derby that's going to be. And the Jets and the Saints back it up at Fly Palmy Arena on Saturday nights. So great basketball coming your way, folks. The Saints are really finding form at the right end of the season after their struggles to get this campaign underway. Is it a charge to the playoffs? We don't know just yet. They've got to keep on winning, but they've done the job tonight, and boy, did they do it well. On behalf of the entire team and Casey Frank, Andrew Dewhurst signing off from Pettigrew Arena. The Saints win it 107-80.